purpose for not only my life, but for the life of every person that he's called. For every person that he's summoned to his side to be his children, God has a plan for your life. Sometimes that plan takes you to places that you just wouldn't want to go. If you'd known that God was going to take you where you've been, you would tell the Lord in the beginning, Lord, I just don't want to go that way. But he doesn't always give us the luxury of knowing where he's going to take us. Even David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. But he was saying that sometimes as a sheep, God take you into some dangerous places, but God knows how to take you out of every circumstance. That's right. Not only that, he'll make a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And so you have to learn that in spite of all you do, there is sometimes a little storm, a little problems might come up in your life, but God is still in control. I know that the economic concerns around the nation and in North Carolina has plagued some of us, and we have some concerns, but the whole thing is God's got the whole world in his hands. And when we get to the place that understand that no weapon that's formed against me shall prosper, that the Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear, you'll understand that God has everything you need and he's got your back, even in the midst of storm. So I've been fasting and praying and asked some colleagues of mine to pray with me as I ask God for direction and guidance, not only for my life, but for the life of the church. And sometimes when you're trying to find your way and you can't find what to do and don't know what to do, the best thing to do is fall upon your knees and call upon God. Some of us will call our friends, some of us call our neighbors, some of us will call the psychic hotline, some of us will call out of state to get somebody's opinion. But the best place to find out what's best for you is on your knees in a room by yourself. And I'll show you, if you pray on the inside, God will show up on the outside. It make a way. So I'm fasting and praying and trying to get some understanding for what God wants me to do. And so yesterday I'm at home, I've been out, I've been running and trying to keep my body in physical shape. I've been to the gym and I'm exhausted, and I come home, get ready to settle in for the evening to make sure my mind is prepared for the message this morning. And while doing so, I checked my phone and found out that my mother had given me a call. I ain't supposed to preach this, I was supposed to preach it. My Lord. And so I decided to call her back. I called her back and we had some niceties. How you doing? Fine. How's things going? Okay. How's the house? How's this? How's that? We go through the normal things and stuff. And she said, son, there's something I need to tell you that I've been keeping for a while and I can't hold it no longer. There is this notion that just because you're a preacher, you don't go through nothing. Just because for some reason or another that you wear a funny looking collar and wear some name brand shoes and wear a robe, that trouble never finds its way to your house. But trouble comes to everybody. Job said, man that is born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble. So my mother engages me in conversation. She said, son, during the storm, your nephew and his mother came to stay with me because they live in a mobile home. And so I accommodated them, and the nephew is 32 years old, and he decided to bring his stereo equipment, big speakers and stuff, and he brought them with him so he could have some music because I had lights and they didn't. And he left this stuff at my house and moved back home with his mother. And she said, so I called him the other day and asked him to come by the house and pick up these items that belong to him so I could get my room straightened out again. She said it infuriated him, made him angry, made him upset, made him so angry that he sat down with her and had this conversation that if I had been there, I would be locked up today. The conversation was, his mother has AIDS. When she got sick, we did all we could, and we got her medicines and everything. But he, I guess, felt like we should have done more. Also, I found out on yesterday that he beat his mother at some point. And
help him, God.
The mother took out a warrant on him, and he go to pick him up. And his mom did not have a car. Now, I don't know when this happened, but his mother did not have a car. And so my mom gave her a ride to press the charges and took her back to the court date. And so on yesterday, he had a chance to vent his frustration to my mother. And he said to my mother, my intentions were that if anything happened to me or my mother, I'm going to kill you, my aunt, and my two aunts. And I'll tell you the names. I listened to the conversation and the rage of many years begin to seep through my being. The nerve of somebody who my mother raised and gave him food when he couldn't help himself, when he didn't have a place to live, and when he didn't have money, clothes to go to school. She gave him all she had. She would give him stuff she never gave me, and he's sitting in her house telling her, if anything had happened to me, I would have killed. This is not my sermon. But I just want to share with you that, let me talk about children first. Children, listen to me. Some of you are members of single-parent families. Mothers are all father and grandmother do all she can to help you out. Now, just because you go over to my mama's house on the other side of the family, and they buy you a pair of sneakers, don't mean that they love you. All right. Just because they give you a trinket at Christmas time doesn't mean that all year long somebody didn't make sure that you have something to eat. And this is the anniversary. I ain't supposed to be preaching this.
Yes, yes,
and so I went. See, most of you don't. There are things about me you don't know. But the devil does. And God does.
Hallelujah.
Some of you think that just because I'm a quiet preacher, when I'm engaged in conversation in a meeting, when somebody comes after me, think that I don't have any skills to take care of.
Well,
I wish I had time to preach.
I'm all preaching.
And so my skills began to rise in me on yesterday.
Preach it.
Now, say I can fix this. Less than a minute after I get back there. It won't take long. In fact, I got friends and I ain't got to go. I can just call them up and they'll take care.
Come on, preacher.
And I got down on my knees.
Thank God.
Because I realized, because I've been trying to get myself in a place where God can use me more.
Yes, come on.
God can raise me to a higher plateau, and He can use me in a greater and more fast. That He can speak words of life through a broken vessel to God. I understood that God had called and fastened me, and the devil was setting me up. How many of you been set up? Tell the Lord I'm ready to go another way. I'm trying to do what you tell me to do. I'm trying to walk like you want me to walk, but the devil said I gotta set up. So I go down on my knees, and I heard God say, I got this. The devil meant it for bad, but I'm going to work it out for your good. I'm going to fix it. You won't have to leave your house, the most powerful for 2 years.
Preach it, Pastor.
Because he kills.
Nobody said the same.
Talk, preacher.
Sometimes in the heat of passion, in the moment when you feel most vulnerable, you have to watch yourself because the devil will set you up to destroy. But there is a God who knows all things and has all power in his hand. And the battle does not belong to me, but it belongs to the Lord. And if I ask God to do it, he'll take care. You got to learn to put it in the Lord. Put it in the Lord's hand.
Thank you, Jesus.
Mother said, son, don't call him. Don't say that to him. Don't mess with him. So the Spirit rescued me yesterday. Raised up a standard for me yesterday. Put a hedge around me on yesterday. Made a way out of no way on yesterday. He set me free on yesterday. I'm on my way to wherever it is that God wants me to go. He got everything in me. He said, so last night my son called me. And he said, we're talking in conversation. He's talking about a fight or something. And the devil says, you ought to tell him.
Help us, God.
Can't get me. And get my son. No. I hurried up and got off that phone. We had a little talk, but I said, I got to go, son. I'm going to sleep tonight. So what I came to tell you this morning, St. Mark, we've been up against a lot of stuff. The devil has come and tried